Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Eric and we're going to talk some Arc Raiders. We got to play extensively in the stress test over the weekend, October the 17th through the 19th. And so I got to finally play this game. I've been following it very closely over the last year or so, and well, it did not disappoint. It ran great. I didn't notice any kind of lag. It was just a great time. We all had a blast with it, and we're going to dive in and talk a little bit more about it. I'm going to go over the systems that are in the game for the stress test, and we're going to look at some stuff that's in there that says it's going to come for the full game, kind of speculate a little bit of what that might be, and then hopefully you're going to be able to formulate an opinion if you are going to want to pick this game up at release or not, which full release is October the 30th, so coming up very, very soon. All right, let's get into the action. All right, first thing we're going to start with is the actual going into the world, the extraction portion of it, because that's the main meat and potatoes of this game. I'm going to show you what you're going to do here, where you want to extract, and what loot and enemies look like. All right, once you get loaded into the world, first thing I always recommend doing is hitting your M button, look at the map, see where you're at, see where your lift is so you know what your export looks like. This one right here is the closest one to me, and it's going to shut down in 20 minutes. Now, if you look at the middle time right there above my head in the middle of the screen, the whole world will shut down in 28 minutes and 51 seconds. So you start with 30 minutes, so you don't have a lot of time, but honestly, that lift we have next to us is pretty good at 20 minutes. We're not going to take that long to get our loot. Now, if you're here to do an objective, it definitely could take a while, especially if you spawn far away from where you need to be. So you do want to plan that out. So one thing I recommend is I want to go to this old battleground, so I'm going to hit the middle mouse button and mark it. And then from there, we're going to get as much loot as we can and then get to the lift. All right, so right here is something I need to breach and search. What this means is I'm going to make a lot of noise. So if there's any enemies nearby, they definitely are going to hear it. So you do want to be careful doing this because it does take a little bit and it is loud. So now I got it searched. Now it's showing me the inventory. It does take a second to load the inventory. I do have that skill unlocked that makes it faster. But as you can hear in the background, this monster heard me, this robot. Now we got to take him out before he hurts us here. I definitely recommend getting behind things the best you can. There we go. We got it. Did any others hear us? I think maybe it's just that one, so that's not too bad. You do want to loot these. They do drop loot. I don't know where this one went. There it is. Oh, I hear another one coming. So we did make more noise than we thought. So we're gonna get that loot real quick. Where is the other one? Heard it, but I sure don't see it. Well, there's another player right there. Definitely hear somebody over there. Right there. Oh no, I'm out of ammo. Ran out of ammo, he got away. I couldn't chase him down with my pickaxe in time, but no big deal. We're going to keep moving on. That's what some PvP actually can look like. Remember, there is groups of 3, though, so I did take a chance there. He could have had 2 buddies there waiting to kill me. All right, so I made it to the lift, as you can see here. Once you get to the lift, one of the sides will have a panel that you need to interact with. It just calls the actual lift in, so it actually only takes a second to activate. As you can see here, it's quick as that. Then it starts signaling on the map to other players and robots and anything else nearby that it's coming down. So you do want to kind of hide for a little bit as it comes down. It takes, I'm going to say, about a minute for it to come in. But just kind of be safe, hide out like I did here, and then once it comes in and opens, the doors will open. It'll start flashing the green light. You can run in there. Then there's another panel you need to interact with. This takes about 10 to 15 seconds, you can see here, as it activates. Once that gets activated, the doors will start to shut. Other players can run in here, so you do want to be very careful with what you're doing. And then you're out. You have successfully exfiltrated. All right, now that you saw the action part of the game, let's actually break down how the game starts out, what systems are inside of the actual menu as far as the workshop, the raiders, all that good stuff. Let's get to it. I'm going to break it all down piece by piece. You're going to see the skill tree, some of the extra guns, all the good. As you see, here's your starting screen. So the very first thing you do is you start with a little tutorial. And it's quick. It's not too bad. It kind of shows you the basics of the game, movement, shooting, how to interact with the world, different things like that. It takes you about maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes to get through it. Maybe if you don't explore stuff, probably faster. You know me, though. I'd love to explore. So I was going out and exploring stuff. Tutorial was good. Graphically, the game looks really good, and it ran really good too, which surprised me for a stress test. No issues. We loaded into matches really quick. I really didn't. I can't complain about anything as far as performance went. Didn't notice any server lag. Everything seemed to run really, really good, which is impressive. So once you get through that, you're going to be looking at a menu like this. You're going to be looking at your raider or your person here. As you see, here's Logic Bomb. There was a few things you could set up here for your person. There's not a lot. So on customization, at least right now, there's some stuff you can unlock, change colors, you can mess with, this stuff right here. And there was, you can do your face and your hair and all that stuff is there. But yeah, I was slightly surprised there wasn't a few more options for customization. I think that's going to be, things that you can unlock and things you can purchase later on. I think it'll be there. There just isn't a lot to start with in this particular stress test, which is fine. I don't know what it looks like at release. It could have this filled up at release. They may have limited it. They probably did. Let's be honest. But yeah, so there's that. You have your emotes. You have Scrappy, which is your rooster or your chicken. It's definitely a rooster though. And now let's go back here a notch. And then you're into your skill tree. We're gonna look at it next because it's the next thing that kind of surprised me. There was quite a few skills here. So you have three main trees that you can go down, or branches, I suppose you can go down: conditioning, mobility, or survival. One thing I did notice: these weren't as impactful as I would have guessed they would have been. Is because this game is an extraction shooter. You're going out to get the loot. Your gear is what makes you different and unique, right? More than the skills, but they do have the skills here, and there's a lot of them. Like a lot of these will take 5. As you can see here, I maxed out looter instincts. I mean, there's a lot to unlock here, and there's no reason you can't go down other trees if you want to. So yeah, so it's cool to see this. I'm glad it's there. It does a lot of different functions, like as far as interacting with the world. If you want to specialize in a certain type of character, like I was trying to make my character on the survival side, I was trying to make him to be a quick looter so I could get in and get out. You can see this whole tree kind of focuses on that. So I'm not going to deep dive the tree right now, but I'm just going to mention it because we're going to keep this video kind of short so we don't waste your time. So there is a skill tree. They're going to have these here. These are unlocked for the full game. They're called trials. These are competitive scenarios where raiders test their skills for rank and leadership or leaderboard rewards. This will release on October 30th at full release of the game. We have another one here called Projects. Projects let you turn resources into rewards. The Expedition Project is the first available. Completing this project will reset your progress while granting unique benefits and unlocks. And that's also going to be out here on the release on the 30th. Then you have the Codex, which is just if you guys have ever played a game, your Codex is going to be your archive of discoveries. And I was discovering stuff in the world, and I didn't really know what it did. And I think it's because the Codex isn't unlocked yet. I think it's going to tell you the story of the world and stuff. And so yeah, that's there as well. All right, now we're going to go to the workshop because it's my next favorite thing. So when you are at your base or whatever, this is your workshop, and you start out with a workbench and then your rooster Scrappy here. And then when you bring in materials, you can scrap it right here. And then you can also train him. So you can train him, obviously, to level him up, probably so he's a better scrapper, I would imagine. But it's not unlocked yet, so we don't know for sure. Next thing I'm going to mention is the workbench. So this is where you craft your basic materials to go into the world. You have your backpack is what this is. They call it a looting augment. And then you have light shields. You have your guns. So let's talk about the guns real quick. There is more in the game that's here. I did get a sniper rifle out in one run, and it was awesome. I love that sniper rifle. But you have a Pharaoh. So this packs the punch, but must be reloaded every shot. I did not like this gun. Reloading every shot is way, way too slow. Now, if I would have used my skills to maybe speed up my reload speed, when I was, maybe this gun would have worked then. But for me, I did not like it. You have the hairpin, which is the pistol. This has a silencer built into it, so it's great for stealth. You have the kettle, which is the gun I think everybody starts with. It's kind of like a light RPG, not really an RPG. It's like a light, I'm going to say SMG almost type of gun. It uses light ammo. I think it has 10 round clips in it. Maybe it's 20. No, it's just 20 right there. 20 round clips. And then you have your Stitcher, which is good damage but has a low rate fires. This is your SMG. This is, I guess, an assault rifle. The kettle's more like assault rifle. Excuse me. And then here's your SMG version of it. And then you have your ammo that you can make. So you have medium ammo, light ammo, and heavy ammo. The guns use the different types. Next up, you have a shotgun. None of these guns actually use the shotgun ammo that you can build right now. And I didn't actually get a shotgun in the game, which was sad. But that's what the shotgun ammo obviously is for. It says with the Toro Volcano. You have your shield recharger. You have a shield in the game, and you can recharge it. That's what this does. Bandages, this heals your health, and then light impact grenade. So that's all the stuff that you start out with. Now, you have more benches, and you don't start out with the other benches, but I built them. I built a gunsmith. So you can see here's the gunsmith. I actually just built this. So you can build attachments for your guns. So your guns can actually have attachments to make them better. Haven't actually built any of this. Here's the Renegade, which is the gun that a battle rifle gun that I didn't have unlocked yet. It looks really cool. And then here is the Arpeggio one, which is the medium ammo 3-round burst assault rifle. All right, let's go to the next bench I built, the utilities bench. You can build binoculars. Believe it or not, most games I just ignore this. This game you actually will use binoculars. It's hard to see other players unless you're really looking, and especially in the distance, you'll see bots fighting, stuff, gun firing. Without binoculars, you can't really make out what else is happening. So yeah, I'm glad that they're there. You can make a cloak, allows the user to conceal themselves from the arc. Very, very cool item. Didn't get to make it yet, but I'm going to make it once we get it unlocked. You got the door blocker, some other gadgets, smoke grenades, zip line. Raiders actually, believe it or not, use a zip line more than you think too. All right, so there is that basic stuff. Now, there is also, let me go back out here. There's also a couple tables I don't have unlocked yet. A refiner, which you can use to get custom parts. And was that the only one I didn't build? I think that's the only one I didn't. Oh, this one is not unlocked yet. A gear bench lets you craft shields and augments. And then the explosive workbench isn't unlocked yet either. All right, let's talk about the traders. So this is the little town area. And if you need a gun or ammo or something, you don't have enough stuff to craft it, you can actually buy it with coins. And so you can buy these different guns. So if you would want to get an attachment or something you don't have the parts for, you can come here and buy it. And then you have these people. Some of them just have quests for you.
If you're here to buy,
they do have stuff to buy, but this is where you also pick up your quests to do them. All right, so let's look back at the main menu here, and you'll see here your feats. These are I don't want to say missions, they're not missions. These are things you're trying to accomplish, your goals in the game. So just like doing damage to turrets, damage to raiders using light ammo, field crate delivery to a field station, and then here's your actual quest.
it seemed especially erratic after the storm.
You can click on this to read more about it. Again, you get these from the NPCs in the traders area here. They'll have them for you if you don't have them picked up. All right, next we're going to look at the inventory. This is where a lot of the magic happens as far as what you're doing in the game, where you can equip your character. So if I want to go on another run, this is what I would have. But this is my stash. I could switch out if I want to go with a different gun. You can also right-click on things to upgrade them, show you the supplies that it needs. So if I want to take this Kettle 1 to a Kettle 2, I could just hold the upgrade, and it's going to use these resources right here. Say you don't have the resources, so let's say I can't upgrade a pack. Let's see. Can I upgrade that? I do. If you don't have the resources, though, you can hit track resources, and it will track what it takes to get those parts that you need if you don't have them. Like, I have those, so it's not as critical for me right now. One other thing I want to mention about your inventory is if you will fill up, and this is not super easily explained, but your stash here, to upgrade it, you hit this expand button, and this is coins. The first one's 5,000, second one's 10,000, next one's 15. I don't need to upgrade it yet, but that's how you do that. It starts out pretty small. But also with your inventory, if you have pieces that, like this piece that's rare recyclable, you can actually right-click on it, and you can recycle it. And then it'll show you the materials that you're going to get from it if you don't actually need that piece. And that can free up some inventory space pretty quickly for you. All right, last thing we're going to look at is the system or the friends thing. It links all into Steam. It also has its own friends, but you can see most of you guys, I think that watch my videos, are going to be on Steam. And you can see here that this is where they are. You can join their Discord. You can manage your Embark ID. This is where your settings are. But you can easily add friends to your party, which I like. All right, that wraps up our overview of Arc Raiders. Hopefully you're as excited as I am for release on October 30th. Make sure you add it to your wish list. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on our channel for more great content coming soon for Arc Raiders. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have yourself a great day.